could just get to church house, but it's more than just getting to the church house. You got to know who you're looking for. So we see this man as he brought his child to the church, and the disciples doing their thing, and it's not working. But here comes the Savior. He comes down out the mountain right on time, and he's asking, what's going on? And he said, I brought my son to you. I brought him to the church, to the disciples, and they couldn't do it. But if you have compassion on me, Lord, if you just have compassion on me, have compassion on us, then I know you can do something. And I like Jesus' response, because he says that if I have, he said, if. Do you know who I am? I'm the King of Kings. I'm the Lord of Lords. I'm the Lamb who was slain. I'm the one who has redeemed you, who's going to go to the cross. If. So the man comes and says, he cries out. He couldn't even hold it back. And he's just like a pop bottle. If you can think about shaking up a pop bottle and opening it and how it spews. He says, Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief. Sometimes we have to get in these positions, and it's bad because God doesn't want to put us in these places, but the only way that we're going to scream out that I need some help is by going through certain things. And we see this happening, and Jesus being the strong man that he is, he said, bring him to me. Bring him to me. And the disciples are looking around, and they moved out the way as Jesus is doing his thing. And Jesus said, bring him to me. And the Father brings him there. And as the spirit that's in the boy sees Jesus, he notices this ain't nothing that we playing around. This ain't that traditional stuff. This ain't that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start acting like I did before. And I'm just going to start rolling around, trying to figure out what's going on. I'm going to come over here and try to hide. And I'm going to do that. But Jesus looked at the spirit that was in him. And he was able to recognize it, just like he's seen before with Legion. He was able to do the same for this little boy. And as that boy came in, he noticed it was the Messiah, the Jesus that was there. It wasn't no Bishop so-and-so or this or that, but it was Jesus that was there. So that tells me right there that the problem that was with the church was the fact that Jesus was not there. So what happens when the church don't work? Many times we wonder and we say, why is the church, why is this not working? And we look in Revelations and wonder what's going on with the church. Because how can Jesus make the church, but then say this? Because the church has turned away. It talked about it being lost your first love. And he's not talking about a building, he's talking about us. So we see this church gathering, we see this assembly going, and now all the people have left. Because they figured it was just going to go on the same thing. I ain't got time to watch them do this and that and see Jesus not do this because that church thing is fake. But we see Jesus over there and he talks to the boy and says, how long has he been doing this? Since he was a child. So it was nothing that he did that got him in this predicament. It was nothing that he said that got him in this predicament, but he was born this way. But there was a choice that had to be made by that father. And I wish the real men would stand up and be fathers, because that's the only way we're going to have children that are worth anything. And if the father ain't there, I want the mothers to take the child to Jesus. Because there's no excuse for the child to sit there and be in this way that he's at. It's not the church's job. You have to bring them to Jesus. You have to bring them to Jesus. And we see right here where it happens, and he's gnashing his teeth, and he's going around, and Jesus talks to the spirit and says, never again. Never again. He cast that spirit. He pronounced what that spirit was. You deaf and mute spirit. Get out of him. And it was funny because even in the midst of it, and the many things that we proclaim and that we say, we expect it to happen just like that. But even with Jesus, the Spirit said, no, I got one more again in me. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to come around and you thought you saw something then. I'm going to show you something. And the Spirit started moving. But do you know with Jesus there, it got to move. It got to go. So as the spirit left the boy, you notice the crowd said, oh, no, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. But we thank God for that, because as he took his hand and he reached down for the boy, and the boy started to stand up. And as he stood up, we saw the power of the resurrection being already established.